reckon real people now see through all the marketing guff and exciting brochure shots and want something honest. A car that behaves like it looks. If it's four-wheel drive, it needs to work off the road. If it's chunky, it needs to be roomy. If it's got a Ford badge, it needs to be affordable.
So, first impressions then. Well, this top-spec Titanium X model with a few extras costs £23,000, but even the base model costs 20 grand. Now, that's a hell of a lot of money for a car with a blue oval on the front, so it's got a lot to prove. Mind you, on the outside, I think it does pretty well. It's got these lovely big bonnet bulges, even if they don't do anything, some spangly lights, and down the back here, some really chunky details like this split tailgate. Handy.
And on the inside, it feels better screwed together than the same price VW Tiguan, with a bit more flair and pizzazz.
It also likes to give the impression that you're single, because tinted windows are great for hiding kids. So, it can pose in the snow, and it's got a pretty useful interior. But these things are going to spend most of their time on the road, so it needs to keep up the good work if it doesn't want to be seen as some sort of fancy Dan fraudster.
It's on the road that the Kuga should really put the frighteners on its opposition. Whereas VW's Tiguan is based on a Golf, the Kuga is based on a Focus, which just happens to be the best handling hatch you can buy.
It uses the same control blade suspension as the Focus, but the Kuga is nearly quarter of a tonne heavier, which in car terms is, well, it's like a small moon. It's also 25 centimetres higher up. So the question is, have they managed to engineer out all of the wobbles? Well, do you know what? I think they have. It's not razor sharp, but it turns in well and generates, well, pretty much all the grip you'll ever need. When you start hustling it, you might even say it feels a little bit sprightly. If a normal car felt like this, well, I wouldn't be complaining too much.
On tarmac, the Kuga stays in front-wheel drive, but when it starts to slip, its Haldex clutch kicks the back pair of wheels into action for more grip. So, just for those rare occasions where you find yourself in a challenging field, I'm going to test it. After all, if it's rubbish, you might as well buy a Focus Estate and keep the change. While a similarly priced Land Rover Freelander 2 would let me play with its hill descent control, terrain response system and trick-locking diffs, in the Kuga, I've just got myself to play with.
Ooh. It's not quite got the ride height you'd expect of an off-roader.
You got me begging.
And it isn't fitted with off-road tyres either, but because it's dry, the standard tyres are coping quite well. I'm not too sure how much is left of the undercarriage, though.
If I talk really loudly, you probably can't hear the exhaust being ripped off. Oh, how do we get out without doing any more damage? Oh, now that might be an issue. The reason this thing's got so far is because it's dry. But now that's water and mud. Hang on, let's have a little bit of a run up at this. Yeah, that's quite claggy. Okay. Well, let's do it. Come on, little Kuga. Oh dear. That stopped pretty much instantly.
The combination of low ground clearance, road tyres and wet mud stopped the Kuga dead in its tracks.
Yeah, that's pretty well stuck. Call the lifeguards! I think that's quite stuck. So, having done in a day what most Cougars won't do in their entire lifetime, I have to say,
I'm pretty taken with it. It's good to pose in, good to be in, good to drive, and despite appearances, it's a lot better off-road than you might think. Okay, so it's pretty expensive to buy, and it's not quite as good to drive as a normal hatch, but it's a genuinely multi-purpose vehicle. It's a mighty impressive piece of engineering.